In this video, we are diving into Chapter 6 Resource Management in Kubernetes. If your app ever crashed due to CPU spikes or your cluster feels overloaded, this chapter is for you. We're going to talk about resource requests, limits, quotas, and how to monitor and optimize usage so your cluster stays stable, scalable, and cost-effective. Let's start with the basics: resource requests and limits. These are the guardrails for how much CPU and memory your containers can use. Resource requests are the minimum your app needs. When Kubernetes schedules your pod, it looks for a node that has at least this much space. Resource limits are the maximum your app is allowed to consume. Go beyond this, and Kubernetes might throttle your CPU or even kill your container if you exceed the memory limit. This means your app will get at least to 56 MI of memory and zero point 0.5 CPU cores, but it can spike up to 512 MI and one full CPU core. Now, if you're running a shared cluster with multiple teams, you have to set boundaries. That's where resource quotas come in. Resource quotas let you define how much CPU, memory, or even how many pods a namespace can use. This ensures team doesn't hog all the cluster's resources. You can apply quotas on CPU memory, pod count, storage, even object counts like services or config maps. It keeps everything fair and avoids surprises when someone accidentally deploys 200 pods. Here are the key metrics to track: CPU and memory per pod, usage per node, network and disk I/O, persistent volume usage, namespace level usage versus quota. And here are your tools: Kubectl top pods, quick snapshot, metrics server, feeds usage data to Kubernetes, Prometheus Grafana, the gold standard for dashboards and alerts, Kube state metrics for object level insights, APM tools like Datadog, New Relic for deep application visibility, set up Grafana to track memory trends. If usage is always below request, you're over-provisioned. If it's hitting the limit, time to scale up. Let's optimize. Here are 6 strategies you need to know. 1. Right sizing. Adjust your requests and limits based on real usage. Avoid the guess and hope approach. 2. Horizontal pod autoscaler, HPA, automatically add or remove pods based on CPU or memory metrics. 3. Vertical pod autoscaler, VPA, adjusts resource requests up or down based on usage history. 4. Node affinity taints, spread out workloads by guiding where pods should land. 5. Eviction policies. If a node is under pressure, low-priority pods can be evicted to keep things stable. 6. Storage optimization. Use the right storage classes and don't overallocate PVCs. Here is what we learned in Chapter 6. Set requests and limits so your apps get what they need. But don't overconsume. Use resource quotas to keep namespaces balanced. Monitor CPU, memory, and storage with tools like Grafana and Metrics Server. Optimize with HPA, VPA, and intelligent scheduling. Track usage over time to avoid waste or bottlenecks. Kubernetes gives you everything you need to run a stable, scalable, and cost-efficient system. You just have to use it wisely. Practice exercise. What is the primary purpose of setting resource requests and limits in Kubernetes? In Kubernetes, resource requests define the minimum amount of CPU and memory required for a container to run.